Cool,
We're
Eric. Well, do you want
nine-
to get rolling?
yeah, for sure. We're 9 minutes in. That was great. I'm glad you brought that up, Kim. So I've got a lot of stuff to cover, and it's kind of going to be bouncing around a little bit. So it should be kind of fun. So it doesn't look like Shantae is on today. Tonight, she's always a fixture on our Tuesday night calls, but she actually told Nathan and I about something that is going to be an event in September. And Jeff, did you allow me to share my screen or so? I
Yes.
don't know if you guys heard, I know you probably have all heard my story of how I started in real estate in 2002. Got my license in August and I started calling for sale by owners and expireds, right? And I did the Mike Ferry approach. And it's a very kind of a strict strategy of calling FSBOs and expireds. And I really struggled with it for my first 6 months. Almost got out of the business. And I ended up getting a listing from an SOI. And it was just happenstance where I didn't even know she knew I was a realtor. She just called me up and said, I heard you're a realtor and I need to sell my house. I'm like, okay. So I listed her house, and then my girlfriend's neighbor who does sheetrock and paint said, I've always wanted to do a fix and flip. Could you find me one? And I said, well, I just listed one, and he bought it. So I double-sided my first deal 6 months into the business, and I changed my whole mindset. Well, interestingly enough, Mike Ferry didn't resonate with me, but his son is also an instructor. His name's Tom Ferry. And from what I understand, they have completely different personalities. And I have a really good friend that's actually a coach of Tom Ferry's. And Tom is probably bigger now than Mike. He's one of the top coaches in the country. And Shantae reached out to Nathan and I yesterday and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I just signed up for a live stream 3-day training event that Tom, the son, is doing online. And usually they do it once a year, but everybody flies to it, kind of like our, big events that we have with EXP. And she said, if you register today, which was yesterday, it was $99 for the 3-day event to go through a full Tom Ferry training. So I didn't even have a chance to look at it yesterday, but I went on there to the link that Shantae sent me. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
And I went and checked it out. So it's an online event. I'm just sharing this with you. There's no plug, obviously. I'm just sharing this information. But it's a 3-day event, and he's got top realtors from all over the country, and they're doing 50 breakout sessions on different topics. Let's see. I saw the topics up here just a minute ago. Where was it? Breakout sessions. Okay. So these are all the breakout sessions, like sales skills, systems and technologies, leadership, marketing, video powered SEO. He's really one of the top leaders in the industry. Phone-free alternatives to FSBOs and expireds, how to create amazing listing presentations. I just wanted to share this with you. So Shantae was correct that the price did go up after yesterday. It's now $149 to do this event. And this is for live. If you wanted to have it on demand forever, it's $349. I just called into Tom Ferry about 3 hours ago, and I explained that I heard about the link, and I have a few other agents that I might share this with. Could you still get me the $99? And they said, yes. If you let me know what agents that you're working with, they would make that available. So if you call in, it'd be $149. But if you let me know you want to go, just message me and I'll just call in and add you to the list. And so really this is a thank you to Shantae, because she kind of secured that price for us by letting us know before it moved up to that. So it's an early bird price. So I might just do it myself. I think I will. 3 days is, I need a 3-day vacation. So that would be a fun one for me, just to kind of take it out and learn some new stuff.
What are the dates, Eric?
What's that?
What are the dates?
It's September 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what days those are, but I may just do it for my own knowledge because Tom is very respected. So I think that'd be probably a great event for, I mean, you couldn't even fly there if it was live. You couldn't even stay one night in a hotel for that price. So for three days, you know, you could probably get some good information out of it. And he's definitely one of the top instructors for real estate in the country, maybe the number one. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know if you want more information on it. So thanks, Shantae. Also, I've gotten quite a few questions recently about how to close out transactions. So for those of you that are just closing out transactions, I just wanted to walk through it real quick because we've had some questions about it. I'm just going to show you, let's see, an example here. Where are we? So when you have a transaction that's about to close, once you get to closing, you know, you have your checklist in SkySlope. A lot of times what happens is when you have everything checked off in SkySlope and you're ready for your transaction to be, you're completely done. It's all checked off by EXP and Rick and everything. And you go to closing, you actually get paid directly from the title company. But there's 3 forms down here that are not completed. The CDA, that's the commission disbursement that's actually sent to title. EXP actually CCs you in an email on this form. So it'll show you what that disbursement is, and it gives title instructions on where to send that money, and they actually deposit directly for you if you let the title company know. So when you have a closing, make sure that title knows your routing number and your checking account number, and to follow the instructions, because you get paid the same day that you get funded and recorded. It doesn't go to EXP and you wait for a check. So kind of cool, you know, you get paid right away. So there's still 2 forms right here that are just kind of in limbo. The commission check, that is the check that goes, that is EXP's portion. So you get that from title and you just upload it here. And then of course the final closing disclosures that are signed at closing, you also get from title. So as soon as you're done with closing and you have your little celebration dance, getting paid, they're going to send you that money. They're going to deposit it for you. So you're getting paid, but your transaction's not actually closed out until you do these final things. It takes 5 minutes. Just load up your CDA, the commission check, final closing, and then you send an email to Judy, or you go into the world to payment processing and just say, hey, my file's done. If you just want to review it and close it out, we're done. And then that wraps it up and it doesn't sit in limbo for 3 weeks. So had some questions on that. So I wanted to go over that. Any other thoughts on that, Jeff? Or is that?
Yeah, just for clarification for me, because when you go up to the completion file form, I think it's at the very top.
Yep.
Agent completion of file. Now that's generally done when you've uploaded everything but those things, correct? Because your file's done. And then do you upload that again after you do those things you just pointed out at the bottom?
No, because it's going to be already uploaded. So let's say the last thing that I upload is my transaction doc receipt. Like I'm letting my buyer, basically getting initials saying that my buyer has received all these documents from me. Let's say that's the last one that I'm going to upload and I'm done. And maybe even it's a week or 10 days before closing, and some of these will still be yellow because EXP hasn't reviewed and checked them off. Maybe they haven't even looked at the earnest money check. Who knows? This will be yellow, like to be reviewed. I can still upload my agent completion file form, because what this form states is I am completely done with my transaction. Please review it. There's no signatures on it by you, buyer, seller, nobody. It's just a blank form that's in SkySlope that you just upload, and it just triggers EXP to please review my file. I'm done. So all of these could be yellow.
Well, then the final step to close it out, from what you're saying, is email Judy.
Yep.
Or go into accounting and EXP world and say everything's done now that you have the copy of the check and the final closing disclosure.
Correct.
And that's not on a checklist anywhere.
It's not on a checklist anywhere. Nope. So what happens if you don't do that is this check gets actually sent by mail to EXP, and it's sent to a post office box, and EXP goes through those and processes them, and it takes them a couple weeks. They're not a couple weeks, but they're just on about a 2-week behind of just processing files that come in. So your file will still remain open for at least a couple weeks until they get that check, and then they come in and they review it and they check everything off. And at that point, they might say, you know what, we actually didn't get the disclosures set up, and they're going to email you 2 weeks after closing and say, can we get those closing disclosures, please? And you're like, what do you mean? I closed that file like 2 weeks ago. But it just wasn't quite complete. So it just takes 5 minutes to do 19, 20, and 21 and email Judy. So,
and isn't it true also, Eric, that if that's not done and they haven't closed it out, it's not showing as a closed transaction in your back office in EXP Enterprise?
That's correct. Yep.
So if you're ever checking transactions and wondering, hey, you know, so-and-so on my team, I know they closed a deal and it's not showing up in there, it's probably because they missed this step on notifying accounting or Judy that was done, or uploading those documents, you know, in general, right?
Yep. And this one says after closing. So, I mean, you know, you have got a little bit of work to do after closing, but I just noticed it. Quite a few agents have missed that. I missed it when I first came over to EXP, because really when you have your seller move into the house, you give them keys and you get paid, it sure feels like you're done, right? It feels really good. There's just 5 more minutes and then you're done.
5 more minutes.
So any questions on that or thoughts? So if you have questions on that when you're closing out a file, please just reach out to me if you kind of forget those last steps. Happy to walk you through it. All right. Next on my agenda is we're going to talk about our Landvoice that we launched yesterday. I'm super excited about. Just a little bit of disclosure. I had some issues last night ordering signs because I was doing it after they were closed because I was running late last night. And they were coming out as more expensive than what I thought they were going to be. So I backed out. So I didn't order them yesterday. And we actually had a few more agents that wanted to add to orders today anyway. So they have about a 3 to 4 business day turnaround. So those are going to be done tomorrow. So anyone that added them, I've got everybody's orders in here. But this document is actually in, and I'm just going to show you where it is real quick in Workplace, just so you can find it really quickly. In the Marchant group, I uploaded the Nolly video. And then right below the Nolly video, my internet's slow today. I don't know what's going on here. So right below the Nolly video that I posted last week, there's a document right here. If you click on this document, it's going to pull this up. And it has all our username, password. It has Jonathan's information. You can actually email him a photo and he'll do all your marketing and flyers for you. It's really great. And also, when we have our extensions, when you have a property, you can just email and say, could you record a really nice message about this property? And they'll professionally record the message for you on that house. Could be a listing, could be a FSBO, either one. So both of the logins are right here. We've got Landvoice, and then also we have the call capture. This is our marketing number right here, the 801-471-0045. That's everybody's number that we can all use. So this is kind of your home base to just kind of log in with all your access information. And both of these sites is the same username and password right there. So when you click in, oh, by the way, I have 112 signs, so we hit that 100 mark to get the discount, which is what I was going for. So good job,
Hey, Eric,
everybody.
while you're on that
Yeah.
page too, go ahead and put a 5 in there for Sydney.
Okay.
We've both been busy sending texts back and forth, so I may have forgot to forward that on to you.
That'll be 117. Thank you. Perfect.
I'm sorry if I missed it. Did you figure out the shipping on those yet?
Yeah, I'm going to cover that in just a minute. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I know what your question is, and I actually don't have the answer to it yet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to ship it directly to you, or if I'm going to have it shipped to me and then I ship to you. So, yeah, I know we talked about that earlier, but no, the shipping is free because we got over 100. But I just don't know if I can separate it, but I'll find out. So when you click into Landvoice or Capture, so Landvoice, the first one, that is our main account. And I had Jonathan send me a great 23-minute video on how to use this. So what I want you guys to keep in mind is when you use this, if Nathan used it 2 hours ago, he might have set it up for Oregon. So we just need to readjust it for Utah. And that's really, really easy to do. So like when you come into expired leads, just make sure that you are looking in either the right area, or you can go back to my account and just switch over which MLS that you're going to be working in. Okay. Super simple. So you can just say, I'm just going to use Utah, submit, and it'll pull up MLS from the Utah one.
Eric, question for you.
Yeah.
Since we've got multiple agents that are getting on this, and Rand, you weren't on our call, buddy, but if you're familiar with what Landvoice is, this is just something Eric and I have set up for the team here, and we're sharing an account. So Eric, my question is, what if multiple agents are logged in at the same time?
It's just going to, I actually asked Jordan that, and he said it's just going to pull them up while you're there, but when you reset, it'll kick back to the other person. So it'll work while you're in there just fine. So it's not going to bounce around.
So it's not like you're going to bump somebody out while they're
correct.
putting their
Yep.
list together. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Another thing, I don't know if you've noticed it or not. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. So one thing that I like too about like these, like if I'm looking at expireds, for example, this is a expired zip code filter. I can actually just type in Salt Lake and it'll show me Salt Lake City or Salt Lake County. And if you look in the small print, it says 73 matching zip codes. So if I hit add there, it's going to give me all 73 zip codes in here. And if I don't want certain zip codes, like I don't want to be in Riverton, I just hit the X and it disappears. So it'll remove those zip codes that I don't want. Or I can just say, I just want to see what's expired in Draper, for example, and I just add that one only. And then I'm just going to go up and hit the expireds. So I'm not going to go through all of that, but we've got the FSBOs, neighborhood search, pre-foreclosures, everything that's in here. If you have questions on how to use it, I'm going to post this video right here. It's 23 minutes long that Jonathan just sent me. It walks you through exactly how to use the system. Super simple. So just refer back to that. I'll put that in the marching group afterwards. And then also on the call capture, this is so cool. I was playing around with this the last few days. We've got all the different extensions that we can run. Each extension is going to be your own extension. So you can actually record extensions for your individual house, and you can change these extensions. And Jonathan showed us how to do these a little bit, but it's super easy. You just change the audio if you want to record, if you want to text. And if you want to add like your homeowner, you can just add somebody here and you just put in their name and number. And now both you and the homeowner will get updates on anyone that calls in on that extension. Super cool. So you're all going to have your own extensions, and you could just refresh those as properties change. The other thing is over here under training and help. This is awesome. So you can just come in here and use this, how to win expired listings, using the call captures to work with FSBOs. And this is a lot of what we're really working on with these signs is working with FSBOs. This shows you how to do it and how the system works. And below it, we've got some awesome scripts on like call capture on FSBOs. So if you just click on it, it'll actually download a PDF that you can pull up. And it has the exact scripts that you can use. So there's some different examples of different scripts. Hi, I've noticed you're selling your home on 123 Main. My name is Eric with EXP. Don't worry, I don't want to list your home. I'm not calling to solicit for a listing, and so on. So you're looking to use your FSBO sign. So these are some really great scripts, and they actually have quite a few different examples. So you can use, what resonates well with you. So dig into both of these websites and really play around with them and figure them out. So by the time we get our signs, you'll have a really good idea of your game plan. So does anybody have any questions on any of that? Two different sites. It's a little confusing. We got the call capture, and then we actually have the lead side. So there's two different sides to it, but same username and password.
So I had one side note.
Yeah.
Try to add value to the FSBO.
Mm-hmm.
It's asking them if they had like the seller disclosures that they need and any kind of disclosures like the lead paint, stuff like that, to try to get them to like want to do it with me.
Gotcha.
Does that work all right?
Yeah, I mean, offering some value and some help, and absolutely, because you are creating that relationship with that seller. And one thing that you're always going to do is when you have that arrangement and you have your sign in their front yard, you say, if you get to a point where you're tired of doing the FSBO and you're considering working with an agent, all I ask is that you put me at the top of the list to show you how I sell homes, and then you can offer your services, and they're going to have that relationship with you already. So there's a good chance that you'll get that listing, because during that process, let's say you have your sign for 3 or 4 weeks and you're following up with them maybe twice a week. Say, hey, I just want to check, see how your leads are going. Are you getting some leads coming in? I noticed you had a couple the other day. Did you have any luck with them? Do you need any help with how to respond or answering any questions that they had? I mean, if you're helping out that FSBO, you're building a relationship right there. So I think it'll be kind of a natural transition when they're ready to go. But you want to be there to help them out for sure.
You're totally thinking the right way, Nate, because you're offering value without really asking for anything in return. You're not there like the majority of the agents are there to get the listing, right? And they're selling it by themselves because they think they can sell it by themselves. And I love what you just said, bringing up the seller disclosures, because now you're kind of in protection mode for them. You're not creating agency at this point, right? You're just kind of like making them aware that they do have some responsibilities of a seller that could create some liability for them down the road if they don't do them. And some sellers are going to be savvy and they're going to know that, right? But there's going to be the other seller that has only bought 1 or 2 homes, and they're not going to remember what disclosures are and what their requirements are as a seller. Maybe they've been a buyer once and they've never sold, right? So I like that one, just bringing that to their attention, kind of like, hey, did you know?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Jeff, sometimes I'll let, when I'm on a side point, when I'm on a listing appointment, I'll actually bring my checklist with me and I'll thumb through it and check off a couple items, not to show them, but they see it, because there's a lot that goes into a listing and selling a house. So yeah, I mean, you're always giving, but also letting them know that you do a lot of work to get a house sold. It's not as easy as just, making a grocery list and going shopping and coming back with food. I mean, it's a process that takes some skill and some knowledge, and there's a lot to know.
For sure.
So let's see. Oh, just as far as the sign goes, back to that real quick. So this is the order. So I've got 112 in there. It's actually going to be 117. So I had 681 for the signs. The wire stakes that go in there, obviously we need those as well. So that's what our total was. And so when you take 112 divided by that total, it's actually going to be 1026 per sign, just so everybody knows. Unless you have stakes and you don't need them, let me know.
Hey,
we won't order as many, but.
Those wire stakes, what size are the signs they fit?
They're 18 by 24.
Yeah, can you throw a couple extra ones on there for me?
A couple of the stakes?
Yeah, or does it have to match the number?
No, no.
Yeah, because you're getting the price down there quite a bit. I wouldn't mind having a couple extra of those.
Okay.
Because you know you're going to be bending them up in that hard ground.
Yeah, for sure. I've bent a lot.
I'll use one to copy to make some. Hangers, you know.
For sure.
Hey, Eric, I didn't notice any by my name. Could you put 5 by my name as well? This is Eric.
Absolutely. Yep. Where are you? Oh, there you
Right
are.
there.
How many? Did you say 5?
Yeah, please.
Okay, great.
So there's 681, and then the posts are 345. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And we just Venmo you, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't even got to that part yet. Let's see if I do 122. I don't think it's going to change the price at all. Nope. Same price. 1026.
Hey, Eric, sorry. Again, while you're on that spreadsheet, I'm just thinking of all the people on our team that haven't even seen this training yet. Can you put 10 more there by my name just so that we have some extras? Because I want to make sure everybody knows that we created this opportunity for them.
Okay.
We'll be talking about it down the road later, right? And they missed that night's training and aren't aware of it. And so it's going to kind of come back up and then they'll watch the video or whatever. So anyway.
Perfect.
If we order these later, is the price going to be higher?
Yeah, it is higher. That's why I've been trying to get kind of a
He's
discount.
trying to get the quantity discount off the initial order.
You want to put 5 more for me then?
Yep, for sure. Good deal. Perfect.
Hey, scroll up. Is that everybody's name on the list right there? Chase should be on there. Chase Marchant.
I've got Chase right
There he
here.
is. Okay, sorry, I missed him. Perfect. Awesome, Eric.
Yeah, I think everybody's accounted for. I haven't got Jeanette's yet, so. Perfect. So what's next on my list? I think that was, I knew I had just a big to-do list, Jeff, that I wanted to go through and cover a bunch of things. So does anyone have any questions on any of that? It was kind of a bounce around training, but I wanted to make sure that we covered everything that was kind of newsworthy and everything that we're working on.
I did want to mention that I waited because I didn't know if you were going to cover it or not. When you do the house search, the neighborhood search. When you do that on an address, like you're doing it for an open house that you're going to do or somebody else is doing, and you want to take care of the neighborhood, if you can see, I've got 2 on there that are saved, and you can also download the CVS file for it as well. I just wanted to mention that. I thought it was pretty neat that it saves them in there for you.
That is great. So I haven't played around with a neighborhood search yet. So you can view them here and then download them there, correct? View results. Okay, that's great.
Yeah. And then you go through there and find their names and friend them on Facebook, and you just formed
That's great. I love it, Nate. Nobody likes a bad neighbor. Why don't you pick your next one? Call me. I love it. See, Nate, when I asked you earlier if you wanted to jump in and help me train, you said no, but you couldn't help it. I love it. Thank you. I love that you jumped in here. That's great. That is really nice to be able to kind of farm that area. Pretty simple. Well, guys, Jeff, is there anything else you wanted to cover? I really didn't know how long it would take to kind of get through everything tonight. And our goal isn't to hit an hour. It's to give, to just cover what we need to cover and help you guys out as much as you can. So does anyone have any needing or things that need to be covered or questions?
That's what I was going to suggest, Eric. We got about, it's 7:40 right now. So maybe we just kind of give anybody the opportunity of anything that they're working on, struggling with, comments, concerns, questions. Anybody want to bring up anything really you want to discuss for a minute?
I feel like I'm gonna open a bag of worms if I say anything, but I got MailChimp and I'm trying to figure out how to put those emails together because I want to start sending monthly emails out. And I gotta say, I'm completely lost.
Hey, DL, I'm not sure what your question is in the chat, whether it's just spell check or whatever. Are you asking, are there basic Landvoice tutorials on this? Yes. So one of the tutorials Eric was just talking about is that 20-minute video on how to basically navigate once you get in. Maybe you could, sorry, DL, maybe you weren't on the call when he mentioned that. Eric, maybe copy that URL and just paste it in the chat.
Okay.
It will be in workplace group as well, but you guys can just click on that right in the chat and it'll pull it up in the browser.
And for Brendan's question, if you go onto YouTube, you can find a lot of tutorials on MailChimp.
Yep, for sure. Copy that one too, right there, that YouTube, Eric, from Nolly.
Okay, perfect. I
Just
will.
make it, for those that are on the call right now that want to click on that and watch that, just click on that URL. It'll pull up a tab in your browser and you can watch that. Rand, why don't you steal that so you can kind of see what we're talking about? I don't know if you're familiar with Landvoice or not, but the link he's going to copy into the chat next will kind of give you an overview of what this product is that we're just going to kind of use to help you get more leads. Perfect. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, of course.
Any other questions or concerns or things you're working on? We started out this call with Kim talking about a client or potential client she was working with. Anybody have anything like that they want to chat about before we let you get about your evening?
So I don't know if any of you have heard of Darren Daly. He does a 5-minute tutorial every day about business and being in the right mindset. And I just got a 30-day program. He calls it Insane Productivity. And he's just teaching you how to be more focused on what you're doing and zoned in. So if anybody wants to piggyback off of my account, they're more than welcome to do that. It's normally like $500 a month for 4 months, so like $2,000 program, and I've got it for 30 days. So I'm going to go through as much as I can, as quickly as I can, because I only have it for free for the 30 days. So if anybody wants access to that, just let me know.
Thanks, Kim. That's great. Are you doing 5 minutes every morning? Is that kind of how it works, or is it more of a?
Well, his 5-minute everyday morning thing is free anyway. Anybody can go to darrendaly.com and get onto his 5-minute uplifting talk every day. That's free. But he offered a, he called it insanity and productivity, I guess. Anyway, so I went and just signed up for it. So just to get that aspect of it. And no, I like my first week training class was an hour and a half today. So,
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Very good information. Very good information. So
I've not heard of him or that, but I'm the first to agree in that mindset shift in the morning. I know that Jeff likes to go walk his dog in the morning, and Lynn likes to get on EXP World just on her phone and listen because it's uplifting. We all need to do something in the morning to kind of boost up our inner spirits. I like what I'm pretty sure it's Anthony Robbins that said, he says, we've all got the voice in our head, but the key is not to listen to the voice because that'll ruin you. You need to talk to it and tell it what to think, because your voice in your head a lot of times can be very negative, right? It's talking to you all the time, and it's like it's just kind of beating you up negative. But if you're talking to your voice and you're filling it with positive things by maybe listening to something or reading something that's positive, it drowns out that potentially negative voice in your head that's always beating on you. So keep that positive. So I love that, Kim. That's great. I love that.
Awesome.
Hey, Brenton, before I forget, I've spent a lot of time on MailChimp. So, and
Yeah.
if you want to go over that one-on-one, so we're not doing it in the class thing, I would happy to set up a time with that and help you on that, because I've used it a lot.
That would be amazing. I hate this because like I feel like I study too much and then don't actually execute things.
Yeah.
So I've been watching a lot of videos, but it's like, okay, what do I want to put in this box? What do I want to put in that box? What message do I want to send? Things like that.
What is wrong with you, Brinson? I think you're the only person I know that does that.
Not for sure.
I forgot what the quote was, but essentially it's like, as long as you do, it's not the fact that, what am I trying to say? So it's like, if it's better to do it and be bad than not do it at all, I'm extremely paraphrasing, but I need to get more into that mindset. Just do it, and then it'll get better over time.
Yeah, done is better than perfect, right?
Yeah.
You just get momentum. Momentum builds momentum. Take action, because, and we talk a lot about this on our personal team here, the Marchant Group, is we're always trying to make things perfect, right? When we need to look at more situations like we're just practicing. Whether it's talking to a lead, talking to a buyer, it's not a performance. So we talk a lot about performance versus practice. If you approach a situation as practice, you're going to go into it with a totally different mindset. So you don't have to know everything before you take action on some of the stuff you're learning, Brenton, right? It's like you learn something, implement it. You're going to learn something from either doing it, or, probably more from doing it wrong and make an adjustment, rather than doing it right and really not even understanding why it worked, right? So yeah, definitely taking action, consider it practice. Say, you know what? I'm going to be the most amazing agent in a year or two because I'm doing stuff.
Right.
We can all look back a year from now and say, what the hell did I do? So do more, learn more, and yeah, build that momentum.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I got to get it done.
Yeah.
I just thought of that. Just kind of reminded me of a couple things that's happened to me in the last week. I was talking to my wife a couple days ago, and I was saying, just like Jeff and Lynn and I, and Brandon and everybody, were trying so hard to give the best help and education possible, because it means so much for us. It means so much for us to have you guys be successful. Like more so than it is ourselves. I'm obsessed with my agent's success. And I just want it so much for every single one of you. And I was talking to my wife a couple of days ago. I said, I really want just an awesome training, and what should I train on this time? And, sometimes I'm just searching for something amazing. And my wife said, why don't you you're busy all the time and you're going through and doing everything. Why don't you just give 5 or 10 minute recap of what happened to you this last week? I was like, that's an interesting thought. So I actually took a couple notes over the last week of just kind of things that happened to me. So we got a little bit of time. If you want to hear a story or two about the last 2 open houses I did, this last Saturday and then the previous Saturday. So both of them happened to be on my own listings, different houses. The first one, I had like 4 people show up to my open house because it's a 2-bedroom and I really struggled to sell it. It did get sold, but it was not from the open house. I got a really good agent, gave me an offer, but it was a hard one to sell because it just wasn't coming up on search engines. But out of those 4 or 5 people that came a week and a half ago, one of the buyers in there, so this house really isn't for me. I'm not interested in it, but man, she is so organized. Look at her shoes. They're like perfect in rows like this. And I just was thinking to myself, you should have seen this house before my stager came, right? And I just took the opportunity to say, she is organized, but that's not by chance, because I actually have a stager that comes in and helps prepare my listing. She does an amazing job. She's an incredible designer, and she stages homes, and she helps and does a checklist and helps my sellers like go through every room and check everything off. That's why it looks so good, before we have photos and an open house. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And she would appreciate that as well. And you know what he said to me? Is he said, I would love for you to do that in my house because we're looking at selling and listing ours in about 2 months. So I immediately we just had a nice little 10, 15-minute conversation about his house. They're thinking about moving back east. They may live here, they may leave. But long story short, I have a listing appointment on Friday afternoon with him and his wife. I'm going to look at his house.
Nice, Eric. Virtual.
And all they said to me was, she's so organized and her shoes are so straight. And I was immediately thinking in myself, how can I turn that into an opportunity? Instead of saying, yeah, she does, doesn't she? Yeah, she did. It's cute. I like it. So sometimes it's just kind of paying attention. And I did not do that my first few years in real estate at all. So really excited about that. So that my second story is this last open house I did this last weekend. It was a hot house. I had at least 20 people walk through that house in 4 hours. Taylorsville, $350,000 house. It was a hot property. I had 9 offers on it. So I did sell it, not me, but another agent, right? Put a good offer in on it. We picked the right one, I hope. We're under contract, doing inspections. But out of all of those 20 that came through, I'd say at least 16, 17 of those had agents. So I really had a small opportunity for maybe picking up another buyer. But one of the gentlemen that walked in and came in, I always ask them, did you find my house by driving by, or did you find it online, or how did you find it? And they almost always say online. Almost nobody shows up by a sign. And you can also almost pick out which ones find it by a sign, honestly. Just by the way they're looking around. They're just kind of like they're just window shopping. So he said, yeah, we found it online. And I said, so did you find it on your own, or do you have an agent send it to you? And he said, oh, I just found it on my own. I'm like, oh, great. Where are you from? And he said, well, I'm just moved from St. Louis 2 weeks ago. My wife and I are here temporary, and we're looking for a house kind of in this area in this price range. Is this kind of the average price range for this area? And it led to a conversation of about 10 minutes where I'm sending him properties. So I've sent him some properties. He's on my hot sheet. I haven't shown him any houses yet. I don't know if he'll become a buyer, but just kind of having a couple leading questions and being friendly in that situation could turn into a client. So in the last 2 open houses, I didn't sell that house myself, but I could have 2 potential new clients from those open houses. And my point to that is I had probably 30 people walk through, and only 2 of them have an opportunity to be clients of my own. So just, don't give up, pay attention to what your clients are saying, or not your clients, but possible prospects. And then kind of what we learned today in the DISC, that class was awesome today on just kind of reading personalities and really listen to what people say and be helpful and be genuine. because when he asked me, is this kind of the average price in this area? My first thought wasn't, well, I can send you some houses in this area in this price range if you like, and let me know if you want to see any. I went right to, yeah, let me help him out. You know, I want to help him kind of learn the area. And I said, well, you know, there are some homes that are less expensive, a little less square footage, but this is kind of the average for this size home in the area. And it kind of ranges depending on if you go a little further east or west. And I just was really genuinely educating him on the area and the house and the pricing everywhere. And that's what led to the conversation. So it's kind of building that rapport and giving before you're asking, like Nathan was talking about earlier.
I love it. That's what it's all about. Hey, Lynn, I don't know if your mic is on. Since Eric was just talking about the open houses, if you got a second, maybe tell them about the client you got at your last open house and how that went. Since I haven't asked you about it yet. I just know about it.
So we had a listing that was about 500,000 up in Cottonwood Heights, gorgeous house. And Sydney and I did an open house on that. And it was super, super busy, but everybody had an agent. There was just one couple that didn't. And I was able to talk to them. And what I do is when I see that someone doesn't have an agent, is I'll start walking them through the house and I'll start pointing out things to them like, this is a water heater, this is an expansion tank, just different things about the house and pointing out things. I pointed out property lines, different things. I said, you know, I know that you guys are here and you aren't working with an agent. I just want to show you what's really important when you choose one. Mm-hmm. And so that's usually how I approach it, is that I show them why we're of value and how we can add value. So when you are choosing an agent, look for these things. This is the type of agent I am. And I just like to educate you. Well, he happened to be an engineer and I was watching her look at him and she's, you know, shaking her head, you know, nodding her head up and down going, we need this, you know? And so I've had a lot of really great luck working with engineers the last couple years. Once I read their personality type, that's why the disc was so important for everyone to see today. Then you know what you need to help them with. They love details, they love facts, they love education, and they do like you to talk slower, not super, super fast, which I can start talking really fast when I'm excited. But anyway, so they came and had a consult with me. We have them on property lists, and it looks like we're going to be looking for a $500,000 house. And they're a great couple, and I'm really excited to help them.
What a great story. I love it, Lynn.
I do want to add to that. Since I was there, I was kind of listening in the background, and something I really liked about her approach is she was actually pointing out things that were wrong about the home, or things that they should be wary of and look at when they're looking at homes, instead of being like, this house is perfect, can't you picture yourself living here, type of a thing. You know what I mean?
This is our listing too. So
yeah, I don't know what I was pointing out was wrong with the house, because his house was pretty dang nice.
No, not necessarily wrong, but you were not like the house, but you were saying when you look in a house, you want to look for these things.
Yes. Okay. I just,
right.
Because I honestly, but when it's my own listing, or I'm at someone's open house that I'm trying to help sell their house, I'm not going to be putting the house down.
I think she was saying that you were pointing out what to look for, not necessarily pointing out that it was wrong with this house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, I just had to reiterate that, because you definitely don't want to do that to your seller.
That makes sense. Awesome. Hey, DL, I think that's a great comment. I love that. I've learned so much from Jeff and Lynn and other great agents I've listened to over the years that would be a great training.
So if you guys aren't looking in the chat, what he said is be a fantastic training, Jeff and Lynn, how to justify our existence by showing clients what value we can give them. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what you do. It's kind of like you weren't their agent, but you were talking to them as if they were your client, and this is just what they need to know about the area that they're moving to, without first trying to sell them. Nobody likes to be sold, right? And it makes them a lot more comfortable with you when you just answer their damn question.
No, that's exactly right. Is he came from a totally different approach, and that is the approach you want to take with, and you just watch people's body language, and you pay attention to the way they're reacting to you. And if you're not trying to sell them, if you're just trying to educate them and also show them, like you said, DL, that we are protectors and that's our justification for existing, then it's like they look at you totally different, instead of, you know, that bubbly high-eye personality that is all in it for the gain, and I can't wait to sell you this perfect house that your family's going to look so great in. It's actually, oh my gosh, this person, you know, knows what they're talking about, and they're here to watch out for me and make sure that I'm happy.
You know, that's a great point, Lynn. When you're showing a house to a buyer and you're trying to make the sale, right? And you're talking about all the great features and why it's so awesome. That, to me, that's the wrong approach. I think you should be asking questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know, how does this compare to the last house we see? Let them tell you their opinion, because if they feel like you're trying to convert them to your way of thinking and sell the house, there's no trust there.
Yeah, I think 9 out of 10 people that don't have agents probably would like to have some help, but 10 out of 10 of them want to work with somebody they actually trust that's not just trying to get a commission.
100.
So they have to weigh that out. It's like, are they just trying to get me as a client so they can make money, or do they really sincerely want to help me? Because they would like to help. They certainly would. Most of them would.
So let's pretend that we are at a car dealership and we're looking at a car. Who will you talk to? You're going to talk to the guy that you don't think cares if you buy or not, that he just cares about showing you what you're looking for. But if you've got a guy that's all hyped up, that's all excited, and you feel like he's pumped up to make the sale and doesn't care how he screws you, you're going to run. And that's why I hate buying cars, because I always feel like I need to run away from them. And I don't ever want to appear to be anything like that. And we do get compared with car salesmen a lot.
Cool. Good stuff, guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, everybody.
Hey, Eric, on a side note, would it be inappropriate etiquette when your client or when people are coming to your open house and they introduce themselves and the agent to trade business cards with the agent?
No, that's fine. Yeah,
So it'd be a good opportunity to interact and network.
Oh, absolutely, Nate. On open houses, that's the perfect time, because I've been at open houses before where everybody has an agent, and some agents are just looking through the house for their client, and we just start talking. And I've had agents tell me, you know what, I'm really tired of my brokerage. My brokerage just has a bunch of old people and I'm not learning anything. So it's a great opportunity to network for EXP as well.
Sure.
I've been going every Saturday to open houses and waiting for nobody to be in line to go in the house, and then talking to the agents and trading cards with them, just to network and get to know people. So can't wait to do an open house.
That's great.
I love it. It's good to learn the market too, Nate. You know, I mean, that's a great way to approach, you know, let the agent know what you're doing. Is, you know, I'm newer in the industry, but I really want to learn the market. I want to be well prepared when I have buyers in this area. I'm just educating myself. Thanks for letting me see your open house. It's a great way to build some rapport there too.
I agree. And the more you're around agents and the more you're around people, Nate, in the industry, I just think it's going to make you better and better. I love how involved you are and how much time and effort that you're putting in on getting on the calls and then going to the open houses like that. Just getting to know people and getting yourself out there is a little uncomfortable. So the more you do it, the more, you know, it will become comfortable for you.
I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I was out showing houses not long ago, like 2 months ago. And I'm walking down the street of Daybreak in South Jordan. And I'm walking with my client. And somebody yells from behind us, like really loud, Eric, Eric. And I turn around and it's somebody I hadn't seen in 20 years. And she didn't know I was a realtor. I've only been a realtor 18 years. I haven't seen her in 20. And she goes, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm just out looking to some houses with my friend here. We're looking for a house. She goes, are you a realtor? And I said, yeah. She goes, I'm actually thinking about selling my house. Done. So she's my client now.
Eric, I feel like you're like on this certain plane where you're just like attracting everyone.
Here's the point of my story is if I was at home and I wasn't interacting with actual real people, I never would have walked by and she never would have seen me. She's not on my SOI list because I didn't keep her there. That's my fault that I haven't stayed in contact with her. But if I wouldn't have been out that day and walked by and she wouldn't have seen me, I walked right by her. I did not even see her, did not recognize her. So just being out there is a good thing, Nathan. Yeah, go to the open houses, get out there, do stuff.
Eric, you're just getting back what you're giving, buddy. You give so much to all the agents and so much time and attention and knowledge without expectations of anything in return. And we talk about this all the time. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to add value to people and it'll come back to me some way, right? And you're so freaking busy right now because you're so giving. I just want to make, I'm sure everybody on this call agrees with that.
Thank you.
We love you, man.
We
Good
love
call.
all. Thank you. Is it beer 30?
Yeah, I got to get out of the office before that happens.
Thanks, everybody. Sure appreciate everyone.
You guys are awesome. Reach out if there's anything we can do for you. Any questions that come up after the call or whatever.
You can do my CMA for me if you like.
Call me tomorrow. I do them every day.
If it's on that manufactured double wide that we were talking about earlier today, no, yeah.
Yeah. I committed to it. I got to do it.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Good seeing you, Rand.
Bye. Have a great night.